Um, in preparing for today, I felt like the Lord instructed me that I needed to share with you a story that took place in the life of Jesus Christ in the book of John, chapter 4. They have been on a journey and they're hungry, and the disciples go to town, and Jesus sits at the well. And the Bible said that he must need to go through Samaria. And he comes to the city of Samaria, and then that's when he's at the well of Jacob. And then he said, then cometh a certain woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus said unto her, give me drink. It's an interesting story, very interesting, because she said to him, well, you're a Jew and I'm a Samaritan. Why are you asking me to drink? And Jesus said to her, if you knew who I was, you'd ask me water. He said, because I have got living water. What's really interesting was that the woman shows up at noon to go to the well. All the other women got there early in the morning. We find out that this woman, not only is she not a woman of a great reputation, she had 5 husbands, and the one she had then wasn't even her husband. And Jesus said, I need to go through Samaria. But the whole story was that Jesus wanted to introduce this woman to Jesus Christ. And what happens is he begins to tell her about her life. And she decides that what she's going to do is going to tell the people in town what happened to her. What's interesting is she went down and told all the men, and they all come back to learn who Jesus Christ is. The disciples come and show up at the meeting, or show up where he is, and he's not hungry anymore. And he said, I've had meat to eat that you know not of. The meat that he was talking about was he had shared himself, Jesus Christ, with a Samaritan woman. And the Samaritan woman wasn't just an ordinary Samaritan woman, which was not a good thing because she was not a Jew or a Gentile. She was a Samaritan, which was not good. And Jesus said, I've got to go through Samaria to meet this one woman. I got to go see one woman. Don't you understand this? What the Lord said, and what we talked about the last 2 days, was how that God hears our prayer, how that God's going to open a door and cause things to happen. But sometimes we have to understand that no matter who we are, it doesn't matter what our family history is, it doesn't even matter what our own personal history is. This woman had been married 5 times, and she was living with a man that wasn't her own husband. And Jesus told her these things, and then he reveals something to her. He reveals that he's the Messiah. First time revealed it to anybody was this woman at the well. You wouldn't expect her to be the great spiritual leader. She didn't have the pedigree, she didn't have the education, she didn't have the ability, but God uses somebody that nobody else wanted to use. Nobody else even wanted to be around. You see, what God is saying to you is stop. Stop allowing the enemy to tell you that you can't when I said you can. Stop allowing the enemy to make you believe that you're less or not worthy or not good enough or something's wrong with you. No. If you remember Monday, what the Word of God said, in the time of trouble, and when I'm in trouble, that's when I'll call to you. If you remember Tuesday, what we talked about was that God's going to pour out blessings on you, not because you deserve it. And that's even what he said, not because you deserve it, but because it's time. I don't know how to tell you this on this Wednesday, but I'm telling you, it's your time. Believe it, receive it, walk in it, know it. Samaritan woman had no value at all, but God placed a high value on her, and God places a high value on you today. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.